welcome to Scrappin with Sheri and project recipe 26. Now, I'm just going to tell you, you won't know this by the videos or the order or anything else, but I skipped some project recipes to go to this one because I was cleaning out my stash and I found some scraps and I decided I just wanted to make a page out of them. And these came together so beautifully. These papers right here were from the Bright Delight Secret Box. I believe it came out in 2024. I've got some of the jewel tone pinks, and I'm going to be using this brighter pink right here. These have been part of a cardstock buffet where they had the different colors on both sides. And then I pulled this green from an old National Scrapbook Day paper because the greens are just very complimentary here. Now, the reason I liked this was because I saw all these pieces here and here, and I knew that I could make that happen with this particular paper that I've got. So I know that I want this floral to be kind of stand out, and I need to look and see what A and B are, and then we'll go from there. So in looking, A is the wider stripe, B is the smaller one, or stripe. A is bigger, B is smaller. So I think I'm going to cut A and B both out of this particular paper. So I'm just going to pull my 12-inch trimmer, and it tells me that one of them is 3 by 12. And I felt like I would have enough paper to do this with this little scrap. One is 3 by 12. There's one that's 1.5, and then one that's left at 1 inch by 12 to get it across both pages. So I don't quite have that 2.5 here. So what I'm going to do is kind of split the difference. I'm going to go just a touch over 1 on both of those sides. That's why this is called a zero centering area. So my pieces here will be a little bit smaller, but I'll have one for the right page and then one for the left page. Now, another thing that I really liked was the green part, and that's going to be this here. And when you look at it, it's actually one piece of paper and it's punched on both sides. But I really like this green, and I also really like the floral ribbon punch. And this one is one that comes off the paper. So I'm just going to punch a couple of these and see what I can do to make this work, because I felt like this would be pretty with the pictures I've got going on. I've about got my workspace too full here. Now, about twice a year, sometimes 3 times if I'm really bored, I go through and I clean out my paper packs. Now, this is where I've kept the pieces all together, but I'm down to just a few pieces left in the pack, or scraps, as the case was in this. And I just pull those out and I make pages with them. And I do that just so I have some pre-made pages. Well, in this case, I actually even had pictures that worked for it. But it keeps my stash at a manageable level. If you watch the video about organization back in December of 2024, I think December or January, I showed you where I keep my papers. And I only keep a certain amount of papers. I don't keep adding to the stash. I have a certain place in my cube storage system where they go. And I don't keep adding to that system to accommodate papers. I just get rid of papers when it gets to be too much for me. So some of you would not understand that at all. That would just be too much for you because you love to keep all the papers. I just don't. Oh, I'm going to need one more of those to go here. I get a little overwhelmed when my organization system gets out of hand. And of course, I am an advisor too, so it helps me out because I can do them in paper buffets. I can make up kits to sell. But if your paper organization system is getting overwhelming to you, sometimes you just got to get rid of some of it. Donate it to a friend. Donate it to a local preschool, daycare. I mean, whatever. But to me, it's not worth it to have to look through 4 million sheets of paper to find what I'm looking for when I get ready to do a page. And Creative Memories comes out with something new about every 2 weeks. So if I get rid of something and I need it later, chances are there'll be something comparable. All right, so I think that one is going there with a strip. I haven't worried so much about time on this video, strictly because this is kind of a quick layout, I think. I've got those two over there and still some scraps. And then let's see, we've got these little pieces here, and I think those are cute. Those are 6.5, let me make sure. 6.5 by half. It shows them all at 6.5 on here. I guess they've just cut them down a little bit. And I do want to add just a touch of stripe in there. So I'm going to cut a couple of 1/2-inch strips here and see what happens. Otherwise, I'm going to have to make a whole nother page. And looks like I'll have to make a whole another page anyway, but that's okay. Next time, instead of the floral, I can do a stripey page. And I didn't measure those, I just chopped them. So let's lay this out, see what we've got, see where we're headed with it, and what we might need to add. Now, I've got a wrinkle here, so I'm going to move this paper to the bottom because I know that's going to be covered up. Let me grab my tape. You'll probably notice on the videos I'm still using my regular tape runner dispenser. When I'm scrapbooking at my desk, I use the big tape gun, and I love it. I've not had problems with it. I just think it's great and wonderful, but I only have one of them as of the filming of this video. But I can tell you I'm going to be adding another one as soon as it comes back. Now here I've ended up with several little pieces. I'm not sure why, but you know what? We'll make it all work. I'm kind of following the recipe here, looking at what I've got, what I don't have. And I think, I don't know, I'm going back and forth on this because I think that stripe through there would be really cute and it would give me something a little bit different. So I think I am going to cut a piece of stripe. Now let me do some measuring because I didn't cut my pictures the same size as theirs. So I need my stripe to be about that wide. You knew I would change this up, didn't you? And you can see I'm not measuring. I'm just kind of eyeballing, and I put a crease in there with my fingernail. But I do think this is going to be really cute just to put a little bit of stripe into it. And then I may or may not use those. Now, if you were watching, I didn't use my repo tape to tape all these little bitty pieces. All I did was put regular tape through the middle thicker section. So that's coming up pretty easily. And I am going to keep it so the pink is showing through those little areas. It's a little bit long, but it's okay. And then here again, I'm just putting the regular tape right through the middle section. And I'll keep the pink showing on the top edge, just for continuity. Well, maybe I should put this on my mat correctly and see if I'm even anywhere close to being lined up here. I feel like I'm going up and down and up and down, and sure enough. All right. I think that's really pretty. And my next thought had been to add the stripe here. I don't really need that, but these are cute with the pink there. So I think I may throw those in. And then I can also do some little journaling tabs there with the write-on journaling strips. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. My granddaughter had come to spend a few days with us the week before Easter. And we were ready for church that morning, and I just told her to go and stand by the stairs, and she posed. And when you see the pictures on the next page, you're going to think, wow, she makes a whole photo op for pictures. No, I don't. We had had a party here the night before, and the background was still up, and she posed for me there too. All right, so we've got that side done. Let's go ahead and tape down this, and then we'll add our pictures. Now this one, I think I'm going to do it kind of like I did the other one. I'm going to add this floral to the top. I'm going to let that overlap and then come down. And I feel like, well, I'll just try it in a second. I think I've got another plan here. Of course, I went over that little area right there. You can just roll it back on itself with your fingernail. I'm going to line that up right along that floral, or yeah, right along the floral paper edge right there. I've got a dip right here. And then I do know over here, I've got 4 4x6 pictures instead of doing the longer ones. And I went ahead and developed one more of her face. I think I'll slide it this way so it's in line with the ones that'll be over here. I really kind of feel like I would like a little bit of the stripe over here. Maybe just a little strip of that along the bottom to kind of even up my spacing a bit. That just brings in a little more color. I still have enough of that stripe to make another border, so you'll probably be seeing it again. All right, so let me cut this off. I could do that with my trimmer or my scissors. So there's our double spread. Let's add our pictures real quick and a couple of embellishments, and we'll be done. Now, I keep debating on how I want to do these pictures. And a part of me thinks I want to slide them this way so I can do some journaling and embellishing here. And then I wouldn't have to do the write-on strips there. So, I don't know. I'm going back and forth on this. Maybe I'll just center it up. I really don't have a lot to say about this. And I know y'all don't really care. Sometimes you just gotta think it through a little bit and talk it out. It's so funny. I tell my in-person croppers all the time. They'll be mumbling to themselves, and I'll say, well, I don't want to interrupt you, but if you need me, you need to let me know that you're talking to me. Because don't we all talk to ourselves when we're scrapbooking? And then, although the sketch showed 2 pictures on this side, I decided to go with 3. And I just developed them a little bit skinnier so they would work. Probably should have come down a touch more with that, but I didn't want that pink to show through up there on this area. So we're just going to make do with it. And again, I have ended up with much more space over on this side. So I'm going to space these out a little bit more. Just to make it a little more even. I'm not worried about it being totally perfect, but I'll increase my center spacing a little bit. All right. So let's look at this in light of the recipe and see where we are. We've got a very heavy design at the bottom, which is what they have. They developed 2 4x4s, whereas I did 4 by about 5.5 there. And I got 3 of them in because I developed them a little bit skinnier. I did the border and the strip here, but went ahead and added another strip on the bottom. And whereas they did a 4x4 and a 4x6, I did 4 4x4s. Now, they've added embellishments here and here and here. So, let me see what I've got from this collection. Because, again, I was cleaning out scraps, and this is what I have left. So, in looking at their layout and our layout, they have one embellishment here, one up here. Oh, these are sticking to the backing paper. So, one up here. Look how perfectly that green matches this. I'm really pleased when it works like that. And you know, because I have extra space over here, I could, yeah, that one's probably not coming up. These are the foamy stickers, and they are, well, they stick. All right, I'll just go with it like the sketch shows. And then this bigger one over here. I'm going to add that here. And I am going to be looking, I'm thinking about that one. I'm going to be looking for some words because I feel like I need some kind of bold words in a couple of places. And I know I've got some. It's just a matter of looking for them. So look for the final picture of this at the end of the video. And that is project recipe number 26. Until I see you next time, happy scrapping.